Well, there's definitely a hum in the air this morning on this beautiful, bright, clear day. But being where we are, we know what this hum is, don't we? This is a hum of wood, isn't it? They're all burning their old fucking log fires, keeping nice and warm in the country mansions. Yeah. Yeah. While the paupers fucking fear for turning on the fucking gas. Phew, never mind an electric fire. Yeah, set the whole place on fucking fire. Yeah, prepare to pay the standing charge. Yeah, the extortionate fucking kilowatts per hour for the first so many hours. And then it fucking goes down to nearly half, doesn't it? Carb meters. Fucking single parents dashing off to spar shops in the middle of the fucking night to reboost the fucking meter. Like I say, the boys are sat nice and warm. Yeah. In the country retreats. In the country retreats, eh? It's also not hard to see that there is no fucking access through there, whether you fucking let someone in or not. But it's another piece of land. I'm worried. I'm wondering why they haven't sold off, actually. But we do have to look at this, seeing as it goes nowhere. The boys have been out. A few more repairs being made here. Number 26, I think that is. Coming, number 26. Yeah. I mean, this is Cowhill. And believe me, it just goes round in one big square. Yeah, number 25 coming. Very few that drive up here don't have four-wheel drives. A lot are from farming backgrounds and such, but who knows? We know what's going on, don't we? The major one on the bend off Cowhill. Where's the sign gone? Fuck me. We're gonna need a fucking big tarmac machine here. 24, coming 24. Yeah. A few ton of tarmac going around here, I'll tell you. In the next few weeks. On roads barely used. The traffic going past here must be, well, it doesn't go anywhere. It goes to 5 or 6 different properties and to Cowhill kennels. And you wouldn't want to take your dog in the back of a car and give it a bumpy ride before you dropped it off for a fortnight, would you? It is so fucking apparent, isn't it, that they're looking after number one. Huh? We label the conservatives self-servitives, but I've got to fucking question whether the whole fucking crew, the whole fucking system, the whole council system throughout the whole nation aren't doing exactly the same. Yeah. One day we'll wake up, won't we? Have to fucking step off that fucking roundabout before you even think about waking up. Oh, and incidentally, I've come out to the countryside today to get a bit of. It's early morning. It's fresh. It's very cold. Very quiet Sunday morning. I've had two messages in the night on my YouTube vids, stating rest in peace and commiserations to my family. If that's not a death threat, what is it? Yeah. I suppose they could say they got wrong information. Yeah. They're out there, aren't they? Nothing against these kennels. And the lady's lovely. I've spoke to her. And I used to know the owners. And I think there's a need for them. But when I come past most early mornings, you know, there's so many dogs howling and barking, and you can't get further into the, well, you can get further into the countryside, but it's surrounded by countryside, these kennels. I'm just talking about the stress that dogs go through. I could never dream of putting mine in one of them if for some reason I ended up on my arse even further than I am now. I couldn't have it. Well, I'd have no, I'd hope someone would actually look after it. But I do find at times that these kennels they must be extremely stressful. Extremely stressful for some dogs, The owners go and fuck off, sit on a nice fucking sunny beach for a fortnight or a week, and leave the pets, well, as I said. If it's not stressful for a dog in there, we're hearing all these other dogs around barking and howling, then obviously your dog's different than mine. There are actually absolutely no regrets, No regrets. The only regrets relate to others. That through your most difficult times, there are people out there who attempt to make it more difficult than it actually is. When you're talking about, looking after your family members, when you're talking about bringing up your children, when you're talking about coping with your own mental health and your own physical health, it's regrettable that there are people out there who are so shallow, so narrow-minded that they, get some kind of a buzz or see not what they are doing, as they themselves make your life more difficult. But I'm sure they will themselves have many regrets in the future. It's so obvious that we all wake up and develop at different stages in life. It was quite. There's been a conversation going around a couple of people I know recently, and it's not regarding family or anything. For any of you fuckers who feel like sticking a jive in, it's regarding an elderly lady who I've been involved in a conversation with, who's told me that she should have stayed with X instead of marrying Y. 60 years ago. Yeah, because her life's a misery. And after 60 years, a couple of children, grandchildren, she's still living that misery. Yeah? That's the trap, see? I've told you many, many times about that. As much as my life can be difficult, yeah, we do have a possibility to walk away at all stages. But so many from the generations before, the post-war generations, listen to all that bullshit about till death us do part, and what was the other comment? For better or for worse. Do you know what I mean? That they aren't able to. So many relationships, so many people trapped in relationships, so many I'm alright jackies wake up every morning and look across the bed if they're still in the same room and think, fuck me, I'll have to put up with this all fucking day again. And that's both female and male. The female of the species seems to deal with it better. The man just buries his head in sand, actually, majority of times, or in the bookmakers, or whatever she allows him to do, yeah, as he gets whipped, yeah. Do you know where I'm coming from? Some of you won't be old enough yet, and some of you may well regret not having a relationship, and even as Elk said at one stage, not being able to find a girlfriend. Well, I'm not fucking looking at the moment, but I've had plenty, and well, without doubt, there are so many out there, friends of mine, There are some happy couples, don't get me wrong. I'd say it's probably 50-50. Where the others are, well, they're certainly not living the fucking dream. They're living the nightmare. The nightmare of realisation that they haven't got the bottle. They haven't got the actual fucking strength. And they aren't able to fucking deal without their other, without their other half. Yeah. It's an interesting point. And a very interesting comment this old lass said when she said she'd been living it for all these years. So many do. So many live through fucking child abuse in their own families and such as that. I can't regret. Someone I know of is building one of these. What they call them, man caves, don't they? They build them in the back garden and such. And this guy is a fucking handy lad and knows what he's doing. He's built this thing, and this is a place where he can get away from it all. A lot of women do want to sit on the sofa at night holding fucking hands, and I think it's a man wants his own space, and if you look at the rich of the fucking world to-do, they always have a study, The guy always goes off at night into a study, how can you possibly get your head into a book, or read, or have the fucking, the area where you can actually fucking just thinking, meditating, when you've got shit like fucking, I'm a fucking celebrity, or fucking dancing on this shit, blasting away in from every corner of the fucking room. How could you possibly fucking... So you need that own space. Everyone needs that kind of fucking space. It's... The old days have gone when all there was BBC and ITV, and, families would sit gathering around it, taking it all in, Shows how easy it was to control us, but these man cave type things, whatever they fucking call them, it must be another Yankee word, is it? I've never forgotten the situation I was in once, working for a guy who put us onto a job to go and help this young woman out because he said there was horrific circumstances surrounding the family. I've said this before, but we arrived on this job to basically revamp this kitchen and make it fucking finish off the jobs that the old fellow had not finished, because she'd lived through a situation, a life that she believed was all right. She'd had 2 children to this guy. He had everything around the fucking house that you would imagine would be every child's dream, Not a man shed, but a converted garage with curtains up and ducks fucking wandering around in the back garden, hens. But he would start one job, half finish it, and go to the next, and that's why we were called in to finish this kitchen off. Because he got fucking 15 years, I think. It was a long time anyway, if it wasn't that long. He obviously wouldn't have done that long. But he had been abusing both his own children. Yeah, how fucking sick's that? Yeah. How fucking totally and utterly fucking repulsive is the fact that this fucking perverted twat had been abusing both of his children in his so-called fucking man cave, or whatever you call it. Quite frightening. But that's what I say. So many people are aware of things like this going on, and yet stay trapped in relationships. Because, look, I've been around a bit and I've had fucking hundreds of the fuckers relationships. And it only has to last a couple of months. And when you want to call it a day, it does get difficult, You do at times have to make excuses, tell lies, Go to the corner shop, pick up the newspaper one morning and not go back, as they say. No, No, but seriously, it does. So, what it's like for people in these long-term relationships must be fucking unbelievable. But yeah, we do live in this society of, it's a trap, isn't it? All that bullshit talked about, for better or for worse, and you know, and it's fucking thrown down at us from our elders and our, you know, parents about how good it's been for them. I'm not that fucking sure myself.